traders, FX Pip Collector here. Today is Saturday, July 6th, and this is my video on Saturday that I like to do that covers every single thing on this list right here, all the way from the bottom up, including Ethereum, Bitcoin, all these indices, and then we got natural gas, oil, silver, gold, and basically every single major Forex pair. Every single pair on this list I do analyze daily for my premium members on Discord. We do Zoom meetings for the New York session and the London session where we look for setups on every single one of these pairs on this list every single weekday. So anyways, to start off with, let's check out the news calendar. Let's see what we got going on for the week to come. So this Sunday we have the French election going on again, so should be a pretty big deal for the euro. Keep an eye on the euro pair's Sunday market open. We might have a little bit of a gap again on the euro this week. And then Monday we really don't have much, but then on Tuesday we got Powell testifying. This is not in front of a live audience. This is him talking in front of a panel, I believe, in Washington, D.C. So it may not be a big mover, but anytime, Powell is on the news calendar, you definitely got to pay attention. We also got Yellen, the Treasury Secretary Yellen talking, and then Wednesday morning we got CPI and PPI for China, which definitely could affect, the Aussie, Kiwi, maybe even the yen. We got bank rate for the Kiwi also. We got Powell talking again on Wednesday. We got 10-year bonds, which really doesn't do a whole lot. We got GDP for the pound, which depending on, whether it comes out near what they forecast or not, could be a mover. We also have CPI for the dollar on Thursday. That is definitely a really, really big news event. That's definitely definitely the top news event of the week. And then we got unemployment claims. We got 30-year bonds, which really doesn't do a whole lot. And then on Friday, we got core PPI and we got regular PPI. We also have consumer sentiment, the primary one, which the primary one is the one that does move the market. The revised one that comes out 2 weeks earlier, it really doesn't do a whole lot. So we definitely got a pretty decent amount of things on the news calendar this week, especially this dollar news. We got CPI and primary consumer sentiment. So it should be a pretty interesting week. Now, like I said, every single thing on this list right here, from top to bottom, I do analyze. I am a swing trader, so I'm not on the short time frames, but I do look for setups on every single one of these pairs. And every single time that I do see a setup, I do share it with my members at the time of entry. This is my website right here. If anybody is interested in joining my premium membership, it is fxpipcollector.com, which is in the description of this video. It also comes with a trading course, which is about 35 videos long, about 7.5 hours of trading content. And like I said, every single weekday I do a London Zoom meeting every single Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, a 90-minute meeting where we look for trade setups together. And I go through every single pair on that list looking for trade setups. And then every single New York session on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, I do roughly a 90-minute meeting also. The London meeting starts at 8 a.m. UK time. And the New York session meeting starts at 1 p.m. UK time, so that way we can watch the US dollar news that comes out every day. As you notice, we got CPI coming out at 1:30, and my meeting starts at 1 o'clock, so all the major dollar news comes out right during my live Zoom meeting, so that way we can look for setups together in my meetings. And I like to call it learn and earn at the same time because hopefully while you're learning to trade by following along my trading course and attending my Zoom meetings, hopefully you can earn by following along with some of my swing trade setups. Every single trade that I take, I share with my members with my stop loss. I don't really use take profits. I'm not a big believer in take profits, but I do tell you my stop loss. Now, this is my Discord channel and all these members' chats right here. This is private members only channel. And these are the trades that I said with the group this week. If anybody is interested, you can go through and pause the video. It was a holiday week this week. It was the 4th of July. So, I mean, I only had about 11 entries this week because I don't even try to trade on bank holidays. I don't even look for trades on bank holidays. But every place you see one of these little suns, that's a trade entry that I provided to my group at the time of entry this week. So like I said, if anybody's interested, the website is fxpipcollector.com. It's only $30 a month. It's very, very, very cheap, especially for all that I do for the community. So definitely check it out. You can cancel at any time if you're not satisfied, but I definitely think you will be satisfied. So Anyways, we're going to go through the daily time frame on every single one of these pairs right here, and I'm going to let you know what I'm looking for in the week to come, what direction I'm going to be trading, and what I'm going to be doing. I am definitely a trend trader. I only trade in one direction, and what I'm watching, I think I got about 38 pairs that I watch. There's no need in me even doing any counter trend trading because I have 38 pairs that I watch, so there's almost always going to be trend trades available. So I do not counter trend trade anything. So anyways, let's start off with Ethereum. I do think that Ethereum is most likely in a wave C of wave 4. Now we did bounce off the 50% Fibonacci, but I still have a feeling that it's going to go down more, especially looking at Bitcoin. It's probably going to do something like this if I had this guess. It's probably going to, make some sort of a correction, and then it's either going to come back down and respect the 50% and make a bounce, or what I think is more likely is it's going to go down to the 61.8% and make a bounce. Either way, when we get a Fibonacci bounce and we get a break of structure, it's probably going to be the end of a wave 4 and the continuation of the uptrend for a wave 5. So until we get the, evidence with a break of structure, I would definitely continue to look for shorts on shorter time frames. Pretty much the exact same story with Bitcoin. I mean, I think it's an ABC of 4. We did have a 38% Fibonacci bounce, but I think it's more likely that this is going to probably make a correction for a few days. Then it's probably going to go down to at least the 50% level. So I definitely would be looking for shorts and a downtrend in this also, at least until we get a break of structure to the downside. So this coming up week, I'll definitely be looking for shorts. Then I got all these indices that I watch. I just recently started, trading the indices, and man, we've been doing really, really well with them. They make some very, very nice moves. The France 40 looks like it wants to break this structure right here. If it does break and hold above this structure, then I'm going to say that's the end of a correction and probably the continuation of the uptrend. If it does not break this structure, but instead rejects the structure, then I'm going to continue to look for shorts. Like I said, I am a trend trader. I trade with the trend until proven otherwise. What's going to prove that I need to stop looking for shorts is a break and hold above structure, which we don't have yet, which tells me that I'm still looking for shorts until we get a break and hold above structure. Moving on to the German 30 or the DAX, I believe. It looks like it might be the end of a correction. I mean, a lot of these do look like they possibly have ended a correction. But I do have my Fibonacci retracement out here because this move up is looking a little bit on the corrective side. If we do get like a turn to the downside at a Fibonacci level, I would definitely stop looking for longs and I would definitely start looking for shorts because this move up does look very, very corrective relative to the move down. Makes me think that this is probably not the end of an ABC and that probably is going to end up continuing back down. So definitely keep an eye on your Fibonacci levels. You definitely keep an eye on your structure on sort of time frames, looking for a break of structure to the downside. Moving on to the Euro 50, pretty much exactly the same as the German. I mean, this move up is looking very, very corrective relative to the move down, so most likely this move up is probably a correction to the move down. If we get a Fibonacci bounce, if we get a break of structure on a shorter time frame, I would definitely stop looking for logs and I'd start looking for shorts again. It might even end up being like a 1, 2, 3 of wave C by the looks of it. So moving on to the UK. The UK is another one that looks like it's ended a correction. I mean, it definitely looks like one down. It looks like three up. It looks like one down. It looks like the end of a correction. If it is the end of a correction, then it will continue to make higher highs, higher lows, and eventually go up and take out this high right here. Just like the other ones, I would definitely pay attention to your Fibonacci retracement level. I would definitely look for a break of structure on shorter time frames, just in case it does give you another opportunity to go short. So the US 30. US 30 has been extremely sideways for about 2 weeks now, but it kind of looks like to me impulsive down. It looks like 1, 2, 3 waves up right to the 78.6, and then it looks like impulsive down and corrective up. I think it needs to lead to impulsive down again, and I think it needs to make a 5-wave downtrend like this. So I would definitely still be keeping an eye out for shorts. Unless it breaks structure to the upside, I would definitely still be on the short side looking for shorts on shorter time frames. Moving on to the Nasdaq, and the Nasdaq and the S&P are pretty easy. Pretty much non-stop uptrend. I would definitely be looking for pullback entries. My target for these on the higher time frames is actually quite a ways up. The 161.8 is a pretty likely target for me, so I'm definitely still very bullish. I still think this has a pretty decent amount of upside potential, and I'm definitely looking for pullback entries. So same thing on the S&P 500. The S&P definitely looks like a five-way pattern, but my target on the higher time frames is actually quite a ways up there. I think my target on the S&P 500 is right around the $6,000 area. So even though it looks like five ways, I actually think it's probably not five ways. It's probably just going to keep on trending. The thing with the indices is a lot of times you'll get like a perfect 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then what happens is it just keeps on going and keeps on going. So I think it's going to do the same thing here. I mean, I'm sure there'll be some pullback entries, but we're definitely going to continue to look for longs at the end of pullbacks for the continuation of the uptrend. Moving on to natural gas. I mean, natural gas, I was definitely originally thinking was going to go up and take out the high of this blue box right here, but it made almost a perfect five waves up, and it made a lower high. If this five waves up really was a wave A or a wave 1, then it should have taken out the high of wave 4, but instead it made a lower high. Makes me think that it's probably not a wave A and it's probably not a wave 1, and it might even now be back into a downtrend. I would definitely be looking for shorts right now. I have a feeling that this may go down and take out the previous lows since it made a lower high and it didn't go up and take out this high. It pretty much proves to me that it probably is not a wave A and it probably is not a wave 1. So we're probably still in a downtrend on the weekly and monthly time frame. So definitely looking for pullback entries to go short. Moving on to oil, I think oil is going up to around the $100 area, right around the 100% Fibonacci extension is the $100 a barrel area, which is exactly where I think this is going for wave B. So if that is a wave B, then we definitely want to look for longs. I'm hoping what is going to happen is it's going to make a nice little pullback, like a wave 1 and a wave 2, so that way we can go long for a wave 3. It really doesn't have to do that. It could easily just make little pullbacks and just keep on trending up. But if we do get a nice significant pullback, that's going to make for a very nice opportunity to go long for the continuation of the uptrend. So moving on to silver, I think it's pretty clear that silver and silver and gold have ended in the ABC correction. It looks like one down, corrective up, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down, 61% Fibonacci bounce. We do have a breaker structure, so I think it pretty much proves that this is the end of a correction. My target on silver is right around $36 a barrel on the monthly time frame, or $36 an ounce, way up here for wave C. So definitely looking for logs. I mean, we're currently at 31.3, so I mean 36 is still quite a ways up there. I'm sure there's going to be lots of pullbacks along the way, which is great news for us because that gives us more opportunities to go long for the continuation of the uptrend. Now, it's pretty much the same thing on gold. Hopefully you've seen my gold video because I've been saying this for months that this is a 1, 2, 3 and the wave 3 needs to go to about 25.50 and then it's going to make a wave 4 and then a wave 5 and that's the monthly time frame. So going down to the daily time frame, I think it's extremely clear this is all subdivisions of a wave 3. That's the end of a wave 2. This is a 1 of 3. This is a 2 of 3. This is a 3 of 3. This is a 4 of 3. I think we're now in a wave 5 of 3, and this wave 5 of wave 3 is probably going up to about the $2,550 area. So definitely looking for longs in an uptrend on that. Moving on to the major Forex pairs. So the Kiwi Swiss, unlike most of the other Swiss pairs, really hasn't confirmed that it's going up in any significant way. We don't have a breaker structure. That means that this move up right here definitely could be a correction to this move down. We are at the 78.6, so if we do see a breaker structure to the downside, like on the 4-hour time frame, it could be the end of a correction and continuation of the downtrend. I would personally continue to look for longs on shorter time frames until we get a breaker structure to the downside, and once we get a breaker structure to the downside, I would stop looking for longs and start looking for shorts again. Kind of looks like this could be a wave Y up here, and if it is a wave Y, then this is going to be a lower high, and it is going to keep on going back down. Moving on to the Kiwi CAD, boy, the CAD news definitely affected all the CAD pairs in a pretty significant way. This move down to me definitely looks like 5 waves, so that would definitely make me think that this move up would be like a 3-wave ABC correction. I would definitely think that this move down, the 5 waves down, was either a wave A or a wave 1. This move up would either be a wave B or a wave 2. Then it should go down for either a wave 3 or a wave C. So, depending on what kind of trader you are, you could definitely be looking for longs on shorter time frames, trading this ABC correction up to a Fibonacci retracement level. Then when you identify the end of a correction, you can stop looking for longs and start looking for shorts again for either the wave 3 or the wave C. So, like I said, all the CAD pairs made a very significant turn. To me, this really looks like the end of a Kretsen. So most likely this big push down is a wave A of a Kretsen. More than likely it's going to make some sort of a three-way pattern over the next few weeks down to a Fibonacci level, making some sort of an A, a B, and a C Kretsen. Then it's probably going to end up continuing the uptrend. So I definitely would be keeping an eye out for an ABC Kretsen down to a Fibonacci level and more entries to go long. But it definitely is turning down. So if you trade on like the 1 hour time frame, you can definitely look for shorts until you can identify the end of this ABC. Then you can stop looking for shorts and start looking for longs once you identify the end of the ABC Kretsen. Moving on to the Kiwi. The Kiwi, one big clue you have with this on the Aussie Kiwi is that it's closing above the 78.6 really well, which means that it almost definitely is going to take out the previous highs. And if you look at this on the weekly time frame, I think it's actually very clear that this is a 1 expanding flat wave 2, and now we're in a 3, 4, 5 of wave C of this ABC Kretsen. So if we're in a wave 3, that means this thing has a lot of upside potential. I would expect to see a pullback, which is great news for us because at the end of pullbacks gives us more opportunities to go long for the continuation of the uptrend. I am definitely going to be looking for longs going into the coming week. I think that the wave 1 ends right here. This is an expanding flat wave 2, and now we're in a wave 3 of wave C. So moving on to the Aussie Swiss. The Aussie Swiss to me is kind of the same type of deal. I think this is like a wave 1 over here. I think this is a big running flat, not an expanding flat, a running flat because it made a higher high than the wave A. So that's down for a wave A, 3 waves up for a wave B, 5 waves down for a wave C. Wave B made a higher high than the previous trend. Wave C made a higher high than the wave A. That is a very clear running flat. That means that this is going to continue to make higher highs, higher lows, and tells me that I definitely am going to look for pullback entries on shorter time frames to go long. Moving on to the Aussie CAD, we've been in a pretty critical area for the Aussie CAD trying to determine whether this is a wave C or whether this is a wave 3. You know, whether this is a 1 or an A, whether this is a B or a 2. And the fact that it's making such impulsive movements up and it's now respecting the 61.8, I think this is not a ABC. I think it's a 1, 2, 3, and I think that we have a lot of upside potential. Definitely going to be looking for longs, trading this wave 3 to the upside. Moving on to the pound kiwi. The pound kiwi to me looks like it's forming, end of a Kretsen back here and then impulsive down like a 1 and then maybe like an ABC of 2. We have not broken this high yet, so if we do get a break of structure on sort of time phase, I would definitely go short. Technically, we should still be looking for longs until we can identify the end of a trend on sort of time phase, the end of the trend for the wave E. If you can identify the end of a trend for that wave E, then you can also identify the end of the whole Kretsen, and you can also probably identify the beginning of a wave 3. So if you know how to identify the end of a trend and you can identify the end of this wave E, then you're probably identifying the beginning of a big wave 3. So definitely keep an eye out for that on sort of time frames. Right now, technically, you should be looking for logs, but man, it looks like it's very close to ending a Kretsen and making a big move down. Moving on to the pound Aussie. Same type of deal, the pound Aussie, pound Kiwi are very correlated. It's very consolidated down here. Obviously, it's in an accumulation period. Kind of looks like it could pop up a little bit, but as long as it doesn't take out that structure, I am definitely looking for shorts in a downtrend. Like I said, I'm a trend trader. I only trade in one direction on sort of time frames. The trend is definitely down, so I'm definitely looking for shorts in a downtrend. Moving on to the pound Swiss, just like the other Swiss pairs, I think this is a running flat. I think that it's very clear that it's over. We are at a Fibonacci level right now, so hopefully what happens is it makes a pullback on sort of time frames, so that way we can get another opportunity to go long again for the continuation of the uptrend. You have to remember the trend is your friend, and if the trend is up on the higher time frames, you should be trading in the direction of the trend. The pound CAD, boy, that pound CAD made a big push up. I was definitely expecting this to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves down like a wave 1, and I was expecting this to be a wave 2, but boy, that is a very strong move up. Kind of makes you wonder if it's just going to keep on going up and take out the previous high. What should happen is it should make, some sort of a three-way pullback to a Fibonacci level and then continue the downtrend. But boy, the turn on the CAD pairs is very strong. I would be careful because it might go up and take out the previous high. On the weekly, monthly time frame, I could definitely see this thing continuing the uptrend. On the daily 4 hour time frame, it makes you think that this is a wave 2 and it's going to go down for a wave 3, but the weekly, monthly kind of make me think that the trend is up. I think you need to look for longs, and if it makes 3 waves up to a Fibonacci level, breaks starts it to the downside, I would definitely stop looking for longs and start looking for shorts again. If not, continue to look for longs, and while you're looking for longs, if it just keeps on trending up, then that's good news for you. Moving on to the Yo Kiwi. The Yo Kiwi definitely did make a pretty strong move up, and it definitely does have 5 waves down. And this move up kind of looks to me like a trend, but it is kind of a 3 way pattern, and technically we do not have a break of structure up yet, so technically I am definitely looking for shorts. It may end up making a crescent and then going up again and making, like an ABC crescent like this, or based on, correlated pairs like the pound Kiwi and the pound Aussie and the Yo Aussie. It may actually be more likely that this is just another ABC crescent and this is just going to keep on going down from here. The trend is definitely still down, and I'm definitely still looking for shorts on shorter time frames. Moving on to the Yo Aussie. Yo Aussie, pretty much same deal. Definitely looking for shorts. Definitely don't break a structure. Definitely no reason to start looking for longs yet. The trend is down. My next real area of support is a 78.6, way down here, right around that. So I am definitely still very bearish. I actually sorted this thing a couple times this week, made some pretty decent profit. And I'm looking for some more shorts, so definitely looking for shorts on that also. I'm also looking for shorts on the Euro Pound. I'm actually already short on the Euro Pound. I think this is actually a 1-2. I think this is a wave 3. I think this is a wave 4. Now, it is definitely possible that it pops up again, makes, more of a 3 way pattern before it goes down. But if that wave there is the end of a wave 4, then this should go down to at least a 78.6 to make a wave 5. So hopefully it just keeps on going down, and hopefully we can add to a short position and just keep on enjoying the trend, because you have to remember the trend is your friend. So moving on to the Yo Swiss, just like the other Swiss pairs, we are definitely in a big move to the upside. I think this one is an expanding flat. A lot of the other Swiss pairs made a running flat. This is an expanding flat because it's a lower low than the wave A, higher high wave B, expanding flat. I definitely am looking for longs. We got a Fibonacci bounce, so it's probably going to make a pretty proper correction, which may possibly last a few days. But I am definitely looking for long entries on shorter time frames for the continuation of the uptrend. Moving on to the Euro CAD, like I said, just like the other CAD pairs, it looks like it should go down. It looks like this should be a 1 and this should be a wave 2, and it should bounce off a fib and keep on going down. But on shorter time frames, we definitely have a bigger structure, so I would be looking for longs. While you're looking for longs, if it does some sort of a 3 way pattern up to a fib level, breaks structure on like the 4 hour time frame, and then starts going down, you could stop looking for longs and start looking for shorts again. While you're looking for longs, if it just keeps on blowing past these fib levels and just goes up and takes out this high, then that's fine. No big deal, because you're going to be looking for longs on shorter time frames anyways, because right now your roadmap time frame has a breaker structure to the upside, has the end of a trend, so we should be looking for longs. If we're right about this being a crescent, then we'll make some money to the long side trading inside this crescent, and then we'll stop trading inside this crescent and start going short when we identify the end of a crescent. While we're looking for longs, if we're wrong about this being a wave C up here and instead it goes up and takes out the high, that's definitely not going to affect me in any negative way if I'm wrong about my Elliot wave count. A lot of times I can be wrong about my Elliot wave count and I can still make a lot of money because I'm just following along with structure on my roadmap time frames, taking it one step at a time. So, moving on to the yen pairs, I do kind of go really fast over the yen pairs because, for me, there's only one strategy on the yen. Especially on something like the Swiss yen, all you have to do is zoom out a little bit and you can see why it's so damn important to look for pullback entries. I think anybody that is trying to sort the yen pairs probably needs to find a new business because trading is probably not for you. I think you need to be doing nothing but looking for longs on every single yen pair on pullbacks. Me, the strategy on every single yen pair is the same. I'm looking for 3 way pullbacks on shorter time frames. Not one of these yen pairs have given me any reason at all to think that the wave 3 is over. Every single one of them is in a wave 3. This is a 4 year uptrend. These trends have been going on since early 2020. So we're in the 4th year of an uptrend. I am definitely not trying to identify the end of a 4 year uptrend, but instead I'm going to go long every single chance I get. When this 4 year uptrend is over, which who knows, it could turn into a 5 or 6 year uptrend, then fine, I'll start looking for shorts. But until then, the only strategy on every single yen pair is to look for pullback entries to go long. Not any reason at all on any of the higher time frames. The problem with so many traders is they'll see that the trend is up on the weekly, they'll see the trend is up on the monthly, they'll see the trend is up on the daily, they'll see the trend is up on the 4 hour. Then they'll go down to like the 1 hour and below and start looking for shorts. They're like, ooh, the trend is up, it's gonna go down in a big way at some point. When the trend is up on every single time frame, if you're on the shorter time frames going short, then you need to find a new business because you should be looking for pullback entries to go long, and that is it on every single yen pair, including the dollar yen. So even on the dollar yen, we do not have a Fibonacci bounce. It looks to me like a wave one, it looks like a wave two, it looks like a wave three. I would expect this move down to be another correction to the move up, and I definitely would still be looking for longs in an uptrend on every single yen pair, including the dollar yen. So the trend is your friend applies so much more to the yen pairs because all you have to do is go out a little bit and you can realize that we have literally been in a trend for 4 years now, and there's no reason to think that this trend is over yet. So, moving on to the dollar pairs, the more popular dollar pairs. Before I do that, definitely make sure that you do check out my website. Like I said, it is a monthly membership, and it is only $30 a month. I do share every single swing trade that I take with the members at the time of entry. I do 9 live streamed Zoom meetings a week. I do 5 London Zoom meetings every single day. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I also do 4 New York session Zoom meetings a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. In these Zoom meetings, we go through and we analyze the pairs together. I teach, and if there's a trade, then we enter the trade together as a group, especially in the New York session, because most of the time in the New York session, news comes out at 1:30 UK time, and we start our Zoom meeting at 1 o'clock UK time. So more times than often, we watch the news together and we enter trades together as a group. That's why I like to call it learn and earn at the same time, because hopefully while you're learning by attending my Zoom meetings and attending my participating in my trading course and all my educational information on Discord, hopefully you can make some money while you're learning by following along with some of my swing trades. And like I said, these are the swing trades that I provided to the group last week. If anybody wants to pause the video and check out some of these trades, definitely do so. I think I entered 11 trades last week. You have to remember that I am a swing trader. I'm not going to be trading on the 5 minute. I'm not going to be trading on the 1 minute. Pretty much for me, these short time frames don't even really exist for me. I do not trade the short time frames. So if you do join my membership, just keep in mind you're never going to find me on the 1 minute, 5 minute, 10 minute, 15 minute time frames. I am always on the higher time frames. So, moving on to the dollar Swiss. I mean, I would expect this move up to be a wave A on the dollar Swiss. I would expect this move down to be like a wave B. I would definitely be watching the Fibonacci retracement levels for 3 waves down. I'd be looking for a Fibonacci bounce to go long again. I would expect something like this on the dollar Swiss. And looking at other Swiss pairs, I mean, if it follows other Swiss pairs, it actually might even continue the uptrend. So I would be looking at this move down as a possible correction, and I would definitely be looking at Fibonacci retracement levels to go long again. And moving on to the dollar CAD. Dollar CAD has been pretty painful lately because it is literally about 2 months long now that this thing has been in a very sideways channel. I think there is definitely some clarity to it though. I definitely think this is the end of a wave B. I think there's a wave 1 here. I think this is just a weird looking ABC of 2. And I think we're already in a wave 3. And I think it's just going to keep on going down, making lower lows, lower highs in a wave 3. But if it continues to bounce around this channel, then maybe it is going to bounce up a little bit. But I think even if it does go up, it's just going to go up to a fib level and then end up continuing the downtrend. So I'm definitely primarily still on the short side. Moving on to the Kiwi, the Aussie, the Pound, and the Euro. Now, I know a lot of people have pretty bearish outlooks on this, but if you look at these pairs on the weekly time frame, how is this right here not the end of a correction? If this was on the 1 hour time frame, I would say there was an entry to go long right now. This is a trend. This is an extremely clear 3-way pattern. This is a 1, this is a 2, this is a 3, 4, 5 of wave C coming. I think that we are in a wave 3 on all the dollar pairs. I think this is a wave 1. I think this is an ABC of 2. I think this over the coming weeks is going to continue to make higher highs, higher lows in a wave 3. The trend is your friend. You definitely need to be looking for pullback entries to go long. The Aussie dollar, same deal. Actually, the Aussie is even more clear because of how strong it is. How is this not the end of a correction on the weekly time frame? You need, even if you trade on the 5-minute, 15-minute time frame, you need to pay attention to the weekly, monthly, and daily time frames. These higher time frames are going to keep you trading in the right direction and keep you on track. This right here is extremely clearly a trend. This is extremely clearly 3 waves down. This is extremely clearly a 1, 2, 3 of an uptrend. I am extremely bullish on the dollar pairs. I'm extremely bearish on the US dollar index. I think that this has already ended a wave 2 also. I think we're in a wave 3, and there's definitely going to be pullbacks along the way. There are probably lots of pullbacks, which is great news for us because those give us opportunities to go long for the continuation of this big uptrend. So taking it down to the pound dollar, like I said, you need to go up to the weekly time frame and look at these. There is almost no chance that this is not the end of a correction. This is a 1, this is a WXY2, this is up, down, up like this. I'm very, very bullish on these pairs. You can watch my videos on the pound dollar, euro dollar, Aussie dollar, even dollar CAD from months ago, and I've been giving the exact same analysis for months on these higher time frames, which is wave 3 to come, probably of either a running flat or an expanding flat ABC correction. So I think that this is most likely, mostly because of the euro dollar, I think this is ended right here, and this is like an expanding flat. So it's an A, 3 waves down, 3 waves up B, 5 waves down C. So we have a 1, we have an ABC expanding flat wave 2, and then we're now in a wave 3. There is almost no way that this is not a wave 3 trend, and I am definitely going to be looking for pullback entries for the continuation of the uptrend. Moving on to the euro dollar, pretty much everybody's favorite pair right behind gold. And if all you have to do is go to the monthly time frame, and you'll see why I'm so bullish on these pairs. This is like a perfect uptrend. My old mentor used to say to us, you had to search for clarity. If the clarity is on the weekly time frame, you need to take that clarity and you need to apply it to whatever time frame you're trading on. The search for clarity is going to keep you out of a lot of trouble. So nice 5 waves up, nice WXY down, nice impulsive up, nice corrective down. This is almost definitely a wave 1, a wave 2, and a wave 3. And it's probably a subdivision of a wave 3 also. So it's a 1 of 3, 2 of 3, and wave 3 of wave 3. Very, very, very bullish. If you've seen my full top down videos, like I said, you can watch my videos from 2 months ago that I've been saying the same thing. It's either going to go up and make an expanding flat or a running flat wave C. So extremely bullish on the dollar. 5 waves up, wave 1. Expanding flat, because we got a higher high wave B than the previous trend and a lower low wave C. That is a very good example of an expanding flat, wave 2. And we are most likely now in a wave 3, and we have a long ways to go to the upside. We are most likely going to spend the whole summer looking for pullback entries in this wave 3. Now, there's going to be plenty of pullbacks. It's not like it's just going to go up in one straight line, and then scalpers may even be looking for shorts at some point, but you need to realize that the higher time frames are in a very big uptrend. A wave 3 should be the biggest, strongest wave of a trend, and that you should be trading with the trend. If you trade with the trend, you have a way higher probability of being a very, very consistent trader. Like I was talking about on the yen pairs, the problem with most traders, retail traders, is they can see that the monthly is in an uptrend. They'll see that the weekly is in an uptrend. They'll see that the daily is in an uptrend. They'll see that the 4 hours in an uptrend, and then they go down to like the 15-minute and try to go short. Why would you go down to the sort of time frames and go short when every single higher time frame is in an uptrend? That is the problem with 99% of retail traders, is they think they need to try to catch the top and the bottom of every single trend. The trend is your friend. What am I going to be doing pretty much all summer long? I'm going to be looking for pullback entries to go long for the continuation of the uptrend. So, if you would like to join my membership, definitely check out my website. It's FXPipCollector.com. I share every single swing trade I take with members at the time of entry. If you'd like to join my free Discord group, definitely check out this link right here, which is in the description of the video. It is 100% free to join. You never have to pay a dime if you do not want to. You're never going to get access to my swing trade setups or my Zoom meetings that I do every single day if you don't join my website. My website is only $30 a month to join. It's extremely cheap, especially for everything that I do for my members. I truly do want everybody in my membership to be a consistently profitable trader, and we work together as a group to look for really, really good high probability trade setups. So anyways, I hope everybody enjoys the rest of their weekend, and as always, thank you and happy trading to everyone.